But he took it to a different level. So yes, I don't think it was all just lawfare.
Bill, these crimes that they allege, these are all nonsense.
They're not all nonsense. I just listed why they weren't.
No, let me. No,
you don't care. You just like him. I like who you like.
I don't like
listen
him.
to the logic about it or the facts. You just like him.
No,
it's okay.
I'll give
You're
you
entitled.
Let me give you logic.
Bullshit me, man.
Let me give you logic and facts. Okay.
Yeah.
I told you I had 3 racketeering indictments. 3. Okay. I know the statute inside out and upside down.
We're back to you now.
No. I'm coming to a point. I will tell you this: the information and the evidence that was uncovered by the GOP investigation on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and his family, there was more evidence than there was in any one of my racketeering indictments. Joe Biden is treasonous.
Yeah, listen to me. No, I agree. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, he's treasonous.
He's not treasonous.
Yes, he is. He sold out his vice presidency. That's treason for money.
Frank, you just don't like him, so that's treason.
Bill,
but you're a guy.
Bill, no. Let me tell you. You know why I don't like him? I don't like him because he's a liar. Now, let me finish my point.
I didn't say anything.
He's a liar. He was never competent to be president. He lied he lied about everything. The guy lied about.
I'm not a huge fan.
He lied about the laptop. He lied about everything. He had 51, him and his cohorts there, got 51 intelligence agents to lie about the laptop after they knew that the FBI had authenticated it. Absolute liar. Okay, as far as that, let me tell you this.
Not a huge fan.
He had 18 shell companies that did nothing. There was no brick and mortar behind him. There was no employees. All they did was collect money. How do I know about that? I had 21 shell companies when I was defrauding the government out of tax on every gallon of gas. I know the whole system. He sold out his vice presidency. He sold it out. He's treasonous.
Yeah,
and he lies. The guy lies. He don't even know how to tell the truth. And he destroyed the country.
Treasonous. If we were at war and he was selling secrets to them, we weren't.
Well, how do we know what he did for the money? Bill, how do we know he did for the money that he got?
He got his ne'er-do-well crackhead son a job in an energy company when he knew nothing about energy.
Is that okay?
It's not okay, but you have no perspective on what is the bigger crime. You just like the guy you like.
No, I don't.
Everything he does, you see through rose-colored glasses.
Bill, you're wrong.
And this other guy,
no, you're wrong.
It's okay. It's what most of the country is like.
I would tell you.
Just don't ask me to respect it as critical thinking.
I like Donald Trump for the policies that he put into this country, and I think during his time as a president, I didn't know him before that. I met him one time. 30 years ago with Roy Cohn. For 5 minutes, he probably wouldn't have even remembered me. We had a little meeting. I had to meet with Roy Cohn. He happened to be there. That was it. I don't know him. I have nothing to do with him. Let me tell you something. I'm not know of anybody. I just like the job he did as president.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys pulling up. As always, as you can see, Bill Maher defending these Democrats like his life depends on it. I guess it does, because his check probably does depend on it. But Michael Franzese's, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, Michael Franzese's, this guy, he's been on a bunch of interviews, and he's flat out calling out Biden, and he was talking about the racketeering and things of that nature. Yes, it was treasonous. How do you get into office? You've been in there for 40 to 50 years. You never owned a business, never created a product, never sold a service that we know of, but yet you come out of office and you're worth well over 100 million. They say your family is worth into the billions. You've gotten your son positions that he definitely didn't deserve. You know, I mean, come on, man. Why won't these Democrats just come out and say, yeah, that was a bad dude, man. He was a bad dude. It was a bad administration. There was nothing good about it. Instead, they continue to defend it, and they lose credibility every time they do it. I got a couple additional clips to share with you guys. Let's get into it. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's keep going.
This goes back to what I said about the worst thing Biden did. He just gave in to every bad impulse from the fringe.
That's not the worst thing Biden did.
Okay.
Let me tell you the worst thing.
Take yes for an answer.
Bill, no. Forget about him stealing the money and being treasonous. That was as a vice president. Well, okay.
Let's go back to when I was being nice to Trump and saying that he...
No. Before you say that, the worst thing Joe Biden did The guy's got blood on his hands for what he did at the border and allowed people to come in here to kill people in this
He
country.
did a terrible job with the border. Is it enough that I agree with that?
Okay, why did he do it? Because he wanted to turn every state blue. There was no other reason for it, and so they would never lose another election. These people don't play fair.
I don't know if that's so much as it is something even worse.
Oh,
that
let's hear it.
Oh yeah, the left, their biggest problem, I think, well, they have many psychologically, but one is the wine sipping liberals, the white liberals, This is mostly, they just have this crazy need to beat themselves up about race in ways.
Well, what else do they do? That's all it is race.
It's so part of their identity. And of course, it's so hypocritical. It's like, if you really feel that bad, go switch houses with somebody in Compton. I'm sure they'll be happy to live in your house in the valley, and you could live in Compton.
You'll never see that happen.
No, of course not. But so that's the thing, is that they did.
That definitely won't happen, because they're good at virtue signaling, but they're not good at actually doing anything. They're not good at, seeing a problem and solving said problem. They'll make money off of the problem, but there's no money in solutions with these liberals. There's no money in solutions.
Did not want to be, they so don't want to be seen as racist that it's somehow in their, this is again what they do that's so infuriating. They go to the ultimate end of what's counterintuitive often, or just dumb, and they go all the way to, well, then we can't stop anybody from coming into the country because that would be racist. And that's not racist. It's just what every country has to do.
I hear you, and I appreciate that, but I don't believe that they're worried so much about that. These people...
No, they are. Trust me, this is my people. These are my people.
Well, no, they're not.
These are
not even your
I know
people.
these people.
Bill, they're not even your people anymore, because you've said it right. You haven't changed. The party has changed. They're not your people anymore.
What I mean is they're people I know because I live here amid show business in Hollywood. And I'll admit this too. Show business in our community is the epicenter of the problem. It is where the stupidity is deepest about this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm a proud liberal, but I'm not
do you think they really care about these people? That they're bleeding hearts and they needed to come here?
No, I'm not saying they do. I'm not arguing with you now. What I'm saying is similar to what you're saying. It's so important to their identity. They're what I call liberals in theory, because I see how some of them act like in day-to-day with people, with their assistants, that kind of stuff. And it's so not liberal. It's just so cunty and born to the manner, and they're often very well to do and not afraid to spend their money on the stupidest things. So yeah,
they're such hypocrites. Come on,
they're such hypocrites.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
they really are.
You don't have to.
They're definitely hypocrites. They're definitely hypocrites. Yeah, let all these people come across the border, but don't push them in my neighborhood. Yeah, let these people come across the border, but hey, don't take any of my money to help them. I mean, they're completely ridiculous. They really are. And a lot of it is that a lot of these white liberals, honestly, I don't think they really know, and maybe they do. Some of them, maybe they do. They are some of the most racist people here. And to be honest with you, I think the Liberal Party in itself, pretty racist, because everything is based off of a person's skin color, and then secondly, their sexual orientation. So when they say that someone, is a homophobe, transphobe, alphabet community phobe of some sort, or you're racist, or you're, misogynist, or something along those lines, they're really just projecting, because everything about them is centered around those topics, centered around those situations. And those of us on the right, we don't care about that. We don't care what you look like. We love you no matter what. We don't care. Now, we may not agree with your lifestyle if you're part of the alphabet community, but we're not going to shout you down. We're not going to condemn you. We'll pray for you. But these people, if you don't get on board with what they believe, they'll call you everything but a child of God. Let's keep it real.
Biden couldn't give it. If if he showed any
We're talking about a
empathy,
sliver of
and-
people here. We're not talking about all
well,
Democrats.
I'm just saying,
or
well,
at least I'm
he's
not.
at the head of he was at the head for 4 years.
Yeah.
Can I ask you
Right,
this?
and that's why the Democrats lost, because they lost their touch with their own voters.
Yeah, they lost because their policies
With their
were
own
horrible.
Right.
Horrible.
And they still haven't gotten it because
No, they're still fighting. They're still arguing.
Oh yeah, they're doubling down on the crazy.
We're going to probably talk about this on my show Friday. The new head of the Democratic committee, is it?
Yeah, I see.
And they started the meeting like, okay, we lost an election terribly to the guy we said could never win. Okay, and he did it again. Okay, so we need a new leader and a new way of doing things. But first, we must acknowledge that we are sitting on land that was properly owned by the Chumash people. It's like,
Same thing.
You fucking idiots. You know, I did a whole bit on it in my special.
I
Really?
know.
Either shut the fuck up or give it back. Those are the only two choices. And you don't want to give it back.
Okay. So my theory, and I think it's based on sound foundation, the only reason he opened up the border, didn't care who came in, who killed who, whose taxpayer money went to spend it. He didn't care. Make every state blue. That's it. You never lose another
that's
election.
a theory. That's, again, the reason why I believe you think that is because I have a pretty good idea of what media you listen to. So that's the kind of thing they say. And there may be some truth to that. But, first of all, it's a bad idea. You know why? Because the Latinos are voting for Trump now.
But they didn't know that. They were so bad.
I understand.
They thought it was going to go the other way.
Yeah, they did. You're right.
They thought it was going to go the other way.
I'm not sure that was I think it's more the other thing is we're not racist. Everyone should come here. Yeah. Okay.
Everyone should come here, and every taxpayer should take They didn't calculate anything.
As with everything, there's a sane middle ground. I mean, like when Trump says they're rapists, the criminals, and they're eating the dogs. Okay.
Well, they do eat dogs.
No,
just so you know.
It's so funny. Like nobody will just come to the middle. Like absolutely, most immigrants just want a job and they're law-abiding. But also, that Venezuelan gang is not a boy band. I don't want them in my country. To get back to my...
Like, he flip-flops back and forth, man. Bill Maher, I'm convinced, is a perpetual fence rider. And, for Michael Franzese, the statement of, they wanted more voters, I do think that has something to do with it. But the more I look at this, and after J.D. Vance's speech this past week, or last week, more or less, I am convinced that Democrats, their goal was to fast track full-fledged destruction in this country so we could be a part of that Agenda 2030 that Europe would like to push with this one world government. That's my thought process. We're going to bring all of these people over here. We're going to flood and just overwhelm every system that we have in this country. We're going to use up all the taxpayers' money. We are going to bankrupt the nation, and it's going to put us in a position where we don't have a choice but to be a part of this one world government, because that's the only way that this nation can be saved. That to me is what their plans were and what their plans still are. When you have Democratic politicians coming out here telling you that they're willing to do anything, and they're looking for people that are serious about censoring, about denying the constitutional rights of its citizens, when you have Democrats coming out saying these types of things, yes. And then you see what's happening in Europe right now. They are censoring people. A lot of those folks, they do not have the right to protect themselves. Yeah, they were trying to fast track us to this one world government. I'm convinced. I am convinced. Somebody else tell me something different.
Politicians, many of them come into power. They're middle-class people. They don't have a lot of money. And they go out millionaires, multimillionaires, many of them. How do you explain that?
Oh no, there is graft.
Yeah.
I mean, that characterizes, well, finally we have a guy in office who that does characterize.
Who's that?
Donald Trump. You may have heard of him. He won the election again.
Yeah, but he had money before he came into office. He didn't come into government to make money.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
No, he didn't.
First of all, in his first term, we thought, oh, this is as bad as it can get. with the graft because he did things that no president ever done, like kept all his assets. People were staying, foreign dignitaries and leaders were staying at his hotels.
Okay.
That's outrageous. And then he upped that. He put out a meme coin
Okay.
and made $58 billion the day before he took office.
All right, but he was a billionaire when he went into office.
Yeah, well, we don't even know that because he's such a liar that we have no idea what he was. He certainly acted rich, and he certainly was rich.
Bill Maher is full of sugar honey iced tea, man. Everybody knows that President Trump, prior to going to office the first time, was a multi-billionaire. Word on the street is that he was worth somewhere around about $4.5 billion. Yes, he had filed bankruptcy a multitude of times, but for those of you guys that may not know, bankruptcy is a tool that a lot of wealthy people use to keep from actually having to give their money away for different situations when a business deal goes bad or something along those lines. So they file bankruptcy. There's been a bunch of people that have high net worths that have done it, and that's how they're able to keep their money. Now, he was worth $4.5 billion when he came in, and today they say he's worth somewhere around about, $6 or $7 billion. So he's made a little bit of cheese since then. But Bill Maher is his Trump derangement syndrome is on 1,000, man. Every now and again, he seems like he's starting to come around, and then he just goes off the deep end once again.
By any people's standards, he had his own plane, but we don't know. He wouldn't release his taxes. He was rich, and he likes getting richer, and he has no qualms about enriching himself in this office. I'm just saying this is new, but it's not new in many other countries in the world. They say Putin is probably worth $40 billion. We only get that from literally robbing the Treasury, when the Treasury and your personal bank account are basically the same thing. And potentates have done this all over the world, Asia, Africa, the Americas. We certainly have not been that country in general. There has been graft, never on that scale. He is because those are the kind of people he likes, or autocrats like that. But I don't think, for example, Xi in China does that. He doesn't need to. Why would he need to? He's the leader of China. He has his own plane. He has his own palace. You can't get richer than being the president. You cannot, even if the salary was zero, because everything is provided for you. And if you want to go somewhere, you get there faster than any other person in the world.
All right, well, let me ask you the difference. He came in as a wealthy guy. We're not counting his money, but we knew he was wealthy. What about Obama? He didn't come in wealthy.
And he didn't leave with that kind of wealth.
Well, he's worth, from what I'm hearing now, he's worth $100 million.
Yeah, word on the street is, $100 million, but some folks say, I think they actually officially got him listed at worth somewhere around about $70 or $80 million, which is still nothing.
I doubt if he's worth $100 million. That's
what I heard.
But that's what I heard. That's what Trump says.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. People are saying, well, it must be true. Come on,
look
man.
at his life. Come on, look at his lifestyle.
Oh, look,
I'm not saying he's not entitled to it afterward, but I'm saying he became a very, very wealthy guy.
Okay, well, you tend to get famous when you're the first black president of the United States. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a big accomplishment.
Okay.
So, does he get a speaking fee? Probably gets $500,000 or even $1 million speaking fee. Yeah. Okay. So, but he didn't go in it for the money. He wasn't.
We don't know that, Bill. I mean,
we
don't know that. Really? I mean, I'm not saying that wasn't the only reason he wanted to be wealthy. He wanted to be president. We get that, but I'm sure he thought about, what it was going to do for him financially too. Why not?
Okay, I just don't think that was Barack Obama's motivation. I think it's something that comes along with getting to that. If you were at that level of success in any field, yeah, you would have some financial remuneration. I mean, it's peanuts compared to what what Trump is doing, that the kind of money he is making from just basically selling the job. He was, for example, very much against TikTok. Let's get rid of TikTok. Until the TikTok guy came in and said gave a big contribution to his campaign. Then he was all for TikTok. He's very transactional. He doesn't even make a secret of it. He doesn't understand how government works. He still runs it like it's a business. In some ways, that might be advantageous. In the long run, I don't think it is.
Well, the way they've been running government for the past, 40, 50, 60, 80 years? Maybe we need someone in there to run this country like a business. America is a business. It's a corporation. It's a big corporation. We have money that come in and money that goes out, and it should be ran accordingly. And if Bill Maher thinks that the status quo, the way things have been, is good, sheesh. Feel sorry for the guy, man.
What do you think of his the first 2 weeks in office? What do you think?
There are some things. Well, I said before he took office, I would not pre-hate anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he's in there's some things I hate, and there's some things I don't hate.
Okay.
It's a breath of fresh air as far as like, we're going to look at things in a way we've never looked at it before. Like, maybe Gaza doesn't have to be this utter hellhole where the people are constantly attacking Israel, and they are themselves constantly being attacked by this terrorist organization that runs them like a mafia.
Yeah.
Maybe, it's a beautiful area on the beach. Maybe it could be more like Dubai. Okay, it's great to think about that. But then we're going to just take it over? Like what? We're an imperial power. It's 1898 again. We're just going to take over Gaza and Greenland and the Panama Canal.
Yeah, but Bill, don't you think he just puts things out there to get a
He's the
reaction
president.
from people?
You can't just put things out there.
Why not? Look,
he's not a podcaster.
Look what he did with the tariffs. Everybody jumped up and down. All the Democrats were upset. And what did he do? He named the tariffs just to bring these people to the table.
Okay.
He's a business guy. He negotiates.
Okay. It's a week into the tariff thing, Michael.
Yeah.
It's a week. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. It also could put us into a depression because we've had tariff wars before.
Mm-hmm.
1930, okay, right after the stock market crash. It was the worst thing for the Depression, was the tariff war. So a trade war, we'll see what happens. But
okay, but so far, no damage. He accomplished what he wanted to do in the short run. He brought them to the table to get security at the borders.
Okay,
there
are people who have been damaged already because he froze all spending. People didn't get their Medicaid checks, and then he unfroze it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you just can't do it. First of all, it's illegal. You have to have
It didn't happen. He did free spending, but not on Medicare. That was rebuffed a multitude of times. Caroline Levitt talked about that a multitude of times. No essential agencies or anything along those lines where it affected people directly financially. That didn't happen, man.
Congress has to pass the laws. He seems to forget about that part of governing this country. But yes, people, we'll see. I mean, it's too early to make giant judgments. Like I say, I don't mind re-looking at things. This country is bloated. I want to see what Musk is going to do with all that. The idea of just going with a sledgehammer through everything, not thinking things through, talking about us taking over places like an imperial power again. No, I don't like that. And he just doesn't understand how this country works, or doesn't care to learn, nor can you tell him anything.
I know, but you know how this country works, especially in the past couple of years, it hasn't been working well.
All right, but it hasn't been working well, and it also could get worse.
I think it would have gotten a lot worse had Trump not been elected as president.
I'm getting that impression.
A lot worse.
Great. Well, you know what?
What did you think of Kamala? I mean, I've heard you, obviously. What do you think of her? Do you think that she should have even been a nominee?
My line on her was, do I love everything? No. Bill, not even close.
The woman wasn't even competent to be.
Okay, but at least she understands how the United States government works.
That's the problem with these liberals. They don't understand that the American people voted not for the status quo. We voted for change. We want something different. We don't want someone that says that they know how America works and they just keep doing the same things that has us in a $2 trillion a year deficit. $2 trillion a year is being added to the deficit annually. And this dude's talking about she knows how America works. Trump doesn't know how. He just doesn't know how. We don't want it.
It's not a monarchy. At least she concedes elections. Conceding elections is the most important thing in this country, in a democracy, and your guy doesn't do it.
Let me tell you what my thoughts are, and I know where you're going with this. These Democrats for the past 4 years have done nothing but lie to us in every sense of the word. Lied. They've totally disregarded our trust for 4 years. Come on. Lied to us. You know, Biden wasn't even competent to be in that office. He didn't run the presidency. He didn't run the country. We had a shadow government basically running the country. And for me, I look at it this way. You lie to me once, okay, things happen. Second time, I don't know. Third time, forget it. These people have been lying constantly. They don't know the truth from a lie.
And you find no lies in Donald Trump's history?
Let's put it this way. Forget about his history.
Come on, man.
No. Forget about his history. I don't care what he did 20 years ago. I come from New York.
You care what he did 4 years ago when he was president?
Yeah. What did he do? How did he hurt the country 4 years ago? When he was president, how did he hurt the country? Aside from the fact that, let's not go into the fraud on the election, if there was or if there wasn't, whatever.
Okay.
But how did he hurt
listen
the
to what
country?
you just said. Tell me how he hurt the country, but let's not go into the main way he did it.
Not yet. Forget that for a moment, because that was the
can't
election
forget
at the
that.
end. Okay, but everything.
I can't forget
what did he
that.
do for the
and nor
country?
should I.
What did he do for the country?
Great question. What the fuck did he do?
Yeah, how was the country 4 years prior to Biden's administration, in your opinion?
Well, okay. I mean, he would say that he had the greatest economy of all time. Basically, he had the economy he inherited, which was Obama's economy. Well, that's true.
Okay.
Okay.
He didn't destroy it, right?
He did not destroy it.
Okay.
No, he did not destroy it. I mean, there are people, look, he cut taxes for the rich.
He cut it for the middle class also.
Yeah, I understand that. But if you look at the numbers, if you look at the charts, and most of it goes to the rich. Look, I'm not a communist, and I've been very hard on the left.
You have been, and I love it.
Yeah, when they are wrong. What Biden did mostly, I think, wrong was that he was feeble, he was old, he had not the strength or the appetite in any way to stand up to the far left fringe of his country. So he let them do anything. I'm not against some of these things that Trump is undoing now. DEI did go way too far.
Get rid of it.
So you know, there is and look, people voted for him. Elections have consequences. Somebody gets, when they get in office, they have, that is their right to then go ahead and do what they said they were going to do.
Mm-hmm. And he's doing that.
Yeah. He's definitely doing what he said he was going to do.
Everything that he campaigned on.
I mean, I didn't hear a lot about Greenland before he won, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from either, but that's Trump.
Well,
that's Trump.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you know, it's no longer the.
I don't even understand the concern about Greenland. What's the concern? And it seems like a lot of the people there would be okay with, you know, them becoming a U.S. territory. For daggone sure beats the situation that they're in right now. But Bill Maher and his TDS, man, it's just off the charts. It's off the charts, man. And he is a perpetual fence rider. And maybe that's because he considers himself to be somebody in the middle. Hey, I like this, I don't like that. And I'm actually okay with that as well. But the fact that he won't just come out and say the Biden and Harris administration was terrible. These Democrats, they've been running the country into the ground. Their policies have not been good for this country. It's not good for America. The American people, 77 million folks like myself and so many others out there that watch this channel, voted for change. We didn't want the status quo. We wanted different. We didn't want someone that is a part of the DC cabal and that's just going to keep things going the way it is. He's upset that he cut taxes on the rich, but he also cut taxes on the middle class. These fools wanted to raise taxes on everybody, opposed to cutting the spending from all these daggone slush funds that they have going all around the daggone world. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Turn the notifications on so you never miss an upload. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all. Peace.
Vibe so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp,